Good afternoon, I'm Ren Wadsworth, and this is your nonstop local news update. In continuing coverage after being tried for deliberate homicide a second time, Brian Laird has been found not guilty in the murder of his wife, Catherine. Catherine Laird was found dead in the water of the Yellowtail Dam in Bighorn County in 1999. Brian was tried for her murder and convicted of the murder in 2016, later sentenced to 100 years of prison. In 2019, the state Supreme Court overturned his conviction, saying the prosecution relied heavily on testimony from a forensic pathologist who had died before the trial. So the case was sent back to be retried. After a week of testimony from several witnesses for both the prosecution and defense, the judge issued his ruling today.
Based upon the testimony and evidence presented, I believe, like Dr. Kurtzman, that Mr. Laird probably killed Catherine. However, I cannot conclude to a reasonable degree of legal certainty or in legal parlance beyond a reasonable doubt that Brian Laird is guilty of homicide.
If there are any further developments in this case, we'll be sure to share them on air and online. The 17th case of avian flu in Montana was confirmed to have happened on Friday, April 14th in a backyard poultry flock in Rosebud County. The Montana Department of Livestock reported the case caused a 100% mortality in the Rosebud flock. The department reports the animals did not show any obvious signs of illness prior to their deaths. Some possible symptoms of avian pathogenic avian influenza, or HPAI, include but are not limited to drops in egg production, decrease in water or food intake, discoloration or swelling of comb, limbs, and eyes. But the Department of Livestock says the most common presentation for the virus is sudden death in multiple birds in a flock. With the new Montana detection, the department is reminding bird owners of steps they can take to protect their flock. The department says to prevent all contact between domestic poultry and wild birds. This includes access to domestic birds' water and food. They also suggest to house birds indoors whenever possible to limit exposure. They also say that in the past years, HPAI cases tend to increase along the East Coast and move west with the season as waterfowl begin to migrate. Anyone that finds sick or dead wild birds is being asked to immediately contact their local FWP warden or the MDOL at 406-444-2976. Out of Charlotte, the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes announced the National Bison Range will completely close to visitors today. CSKT officials said power to the Bison Range will turn off due to planned road repairs. The Bison Range will be open again on Tuesday and Wednesday under normal hours. However, the Scenic Drives and Visitor Center will only be accessible through a temporary detour on the 18th and 19th of April. That's all for now, but we'll have more news updates for you as the day goes on, so make sure to check back in for more. Once again, I'm Ren Wadsworth. Thanks for tuning in to your nonstop local news.